Hi, we're back. We were just talking about the difference between having a static flat design and a more dynamic design that has a sense of depth and movement in space. I kind of talked through this goofy little grid, but hopefully it makes the ideas clear. And we're going to now take that into how we're going to use that for our project. We've been doing these little painting exercises, a little ombre, a little drastic step value scale, light on a sphere with value, light on a cube with value. Hopefully the painting is getting easier, and it will just get easier the more that we do it. In the end, we're gonna have two final designs that are painted. We're gonna have one that is static and black and white. So you'll see there's the more radial symmetry, the balance. There's some overlapping with the petals or the paint strokes, but not many. And then reinforcing the horizontal vertical grid in the right angles here. So that'll be in grayscale. And then after we learn color theory, which we'll get into later, we're gonna make a dynamic one in full color. I think it's upside down. And you can see here, things are overlapping more. I'm using that linear 1-point perspective idea where these trapezoids are receding and getting smaller as they shift in space. The circles are all overlapping now, and the petals are overlapping more. So it's a little more unpredictable, and it feels like it has more depth. So that's our goal for the assignment. So your steps now, after you've finished figuring out what your fake company is going to be, we're going to do these sketches. I am posting, there's a PDF here that you can download, that you can fill out this worksheet, and it asks you about some brainstorming questions to answer to figure out what your fake brand, what your client, and the idea with these questions is it'll help you kind of visualize what your product will look like and what these little illustrations that you're gonna make are gonna look like. I wrote it in the reading, we're not making a logo. That's a different animal. That's something that we would do in a graphic design class where it'd probably be really simple and scalable. Think of these more as like illustrations that could be taken apart that could become a logo. Parts of it could be a logo, or a header on a web page, or the backdrop to a business card, or a poster design that would happen for the product line. So it's like more a little illustration that you're trying to create to tell a story. So you'll fill out the worksheet, and then it asks us to do these sketches. So I want you to do 4 to start that are fairly static. Remember, static doesn't mean boring, it just means trying to reinforce that flatness of the picture plane. And then 4 that are dynamic, overlapping, diminishing scale, high contrast in the foreground, low contrast in the background, using linear perspective. And I want you on these to write some value notes. And you can either sketch with your graphite pencils, you have some woodless pencils you can use quickly, some value information. I don't know if you can see here, but I actually wrote numbers on some of mine so that I could really kind of break down what and how the value might unfold. And then on my color one, I didn't do quite as much. I just wrote it at the bottom, what I was going to be using for the value shifts, but did it more through the drawing. So let's get working on those. And once you have those done, then I ask you to reevaluate a couple of them. You're gonna pick one that you like in static and one that you like in dynamic, and you're gonna reinvent those. Being a good designer is all about reiterating, reinventing, trying again, giving yourself lots of options. So I'm asking you to find other designs that you don't even have to really like them, just other designs if you want to find elements of them. So for instance, I have this magazine ad. I'm not real into the ad, it's not a big deal, but what I love about it is that it has this curved rounded rectangle. So I took my first design and then in these next more resolved static studies, I use the rounded rectangle on the outside. On this one, this is a boring ad too, a lean cuisine ad, but I really loved how there was a figure in the middle and then one value and a value shift with this division right here. So I reworked some of my earlier designs and I used that value shift happening here. I found another one. I just flipped through magazines. You could just look online. And like, let's say your fake company is a shoe company. Maybe you could look up all the shoes that you love and see what their brand stories look like. But it helps to just look through magazines or look through ads. You can look through our Pinterest boards and find examples. This is kind of goofy, but I really just liked these two lines right here, how that kind of focused you in on their tagline, the ultimate Italian art of creating jewels. I don't know, but I liked the lines. So I added those to some of the designs too. So it's like you take the compositional map or thumbnail and then reiterate it so it becomes more resolved. And then I did it again with the dynamic one. I liked this little thing here I got from looking at this Geico ad. Kind of funny. But just finding other visual research moments that can help you kind of build and develop. You can see in this one I used the lean cuisine moments with the split, and I used a lot more overlapping on this one. So we're just going to do a bunch of studies. 4 static, 4 dynamic, and then resolve 2 more static and 2 more dynamic, and then you'll just pick one of each of those to then really nail down and make your final designs. So hopefully that makes sense. I will lay it all out in Word form and bullets and so forth, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. The next thing we're going to do before we actually paint the designs is we're going to do a couple more little paint studies just so you can feel comfortable with it, and then we'll paint our black and white one. Then we'll do a bunch of color theory and exercises, which should be really fun. It's like my favorite thing ever. And then we'll paint the color one. Okay, thanks. We'll see you soon. Bye.